Otuaba. And then an end is for some company, say, Q now, Mujidi said. So, working with him, Kaka, amount for Kasani, a indirect way of campaigning on an election day in store voting center. And he, Omodo Mumpin, Omopese Chintina, a manuscript Q na Otimiko Tonaba. Or on there, Omonzo Mumpin, into blows and William, Obias one penny sama later. Police for ni isi for no crane no be kasama but ya say okay and the obeski pukio no akoto aba and the omuye na sumdue ba and a peace preparatory polling center so two incidents NAC the first one na allegation of vote buying say car bi abegina oto aba wi na okọ na wakoje kakra and then another group so call car no say there be omompene ma no nkosto na eye gidigide ma effective process no kra kakra ma later etwa so eye ewie ya na another vote and so on the okoto na ba ewie and o dey kire na oyi in phone so polling booth ni twitwa picture na agent ni bi nso say there be omo ni say electoral offense watu abana utwitwa picture ntenya de ombepini ama no the ballot no for the actual battle for so ya the two and no more insist say omumpene manu kwaji police for chin and you don't be gidigidi by a halting process in a kakra but fortunately course Anna and the member of parliament for the area where NDC parliamentary candidate Muntaka Mubarak ebe pwa omukasa ya ni na eba abokwa no so etimi ekoto na ba more through inti so far baby me and so winning asawasi baby I call ya there recorded some incident of confusion or in fact yet the other places but because now we couldn't have confirmed but once a turn out to know there but because almost all the 215 polling stations obakono na nipa ho. Unlike other constituencies, we have polling stations maybe around this time. Let you see for now relax or more all 215 now. Nipa and I won't say list as issues in so I want to know. The do to prayer or more about all the polling stations. I am very busy. Obi said Abana actually you better count every single ballot. Almost so many say police for hodie. But omonso police ballot to me send the bear obia vote and kokwa but the issue of security in fact and we said directive by say military omumba polling stations in fact and there ye hu ye ni say occasionally hu ebi mu okem na omo patrol area no omo koba me so far ye hu polling station na omo akwa omogina unlike previous election we go maybe mujinejina honede nya record but omo Roma omo patrol send the bear incident bi esi na ebeburu police and one so na the other security agencies na omo no etimi abe intervene
Mate Ibrahim mena say nonum ye beta aba be say parliamentary candidate no awo so obeso line no ekokosi say that se papa ene ewie mamenko Dr. Boachi mamenko Joshua Hombisa no. My question is, I want to know, say, who a parliamentary candidate? Your share so cross the line. Won't you mean the line? So some the line. So I'm going to have.
Who bet to me the lines?
90 where are you troublesome?
Say, or more reading me into the action na Sena.
What's what you know?
Or see, or person general line or respecting rules, I'm Rabia and can say. Oye MP another candidate on cross the line any right unfortunately agents na omoye the opponent no want to say
NDC press conference it was supposed to be 3 o'clock. I don't know whether on my area but almost start here be ko na ya kwa akoti almost so nsema wo mo gather so far yeah on person to I mean around this time. It's no news. Yeah. Doctor, are you surprised? It's no news. No. Is it to one incite, two to motivate, three to throw dust into the eyes of people? Yeah, who is saying?
Yeah, nina eka election you know and ka you who ya easy any police omo update and it should have been enough. But political parties so edwin say omo so omo do manu tumubi no much of political uniform no more background they say we are also communicating and also to buy sympathy say oh we see na we no more here and so we be no one can e why as say na me crop for omo be hwehwe mu an omo kan near the other party no so this time around is expected but memo for na I was say yeah no omo kasa I say one hwe na won sample etwa firi ho no mo a ye re-election na waboka wa dwuma ayawa so west wagon ne see ne nan etwa this year na mhu say omampanyin dada mahama akoto fridge ene niema ode akoma no meanwhile ma ene o daily bread ne nyina you have lost it enti ye for timamofo kasa obetwa blog aton I mean enti I was say to me everybody who say you have to exercise your franchise in voting but won kwano it is in your hands na nkodu obi achi nkodu wakoma achi ama ochena bi na ya tutu ze na obi ahwere ne nkwan the airport obi achi say yemomodern say be control your home.
But this military and civilian clash na ya doso I don't know what's happening. As I said, sometimes politicians they can be how we talk doesn't really help. You have to say ewo abeka market ewo nkran military any civilians they see any normal clash. I don't know what's going on. Omote soldier forecast kase bi de machine gun siso no we nya amokase ni bi ketwa no they say hammer so nka hammer no omo ba ko bi atai bottle a omutumi etuo siso omo de nam abekala pass etuo ni siso be ma say machine gun bi no omede na mohoma ayensem deja enti patrol so did the two siso
the things that were they agreed during the task force meeting. I don't know how it went. And Nema also did patrol omo there and the can Nema
mama kwa homa so mra na phase our homa so hohoi is another constituency here for the first time NPP to me we need seat no na yeah hwe kwa men kabra for yeah, say whether he's going to retain the seat. Yeah. They felt so there were disunity among the NDC around that time. The man if member of parliament, but ABCY Juma pa, but the Juma nebeti me amanya seat na it's a stronghold of the NDC. Would he retain the seat? Faisal, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm well. How are you doing too?
I'm good. I'm just hungry. What's happening in the constituency?
Well, so the Volta region largely has remained calm and peaceful all day. A while ago, I left the Pt2 South constituency, where voting is underway across all the polling stations in the constituency. Just as I said for the region, the centers are very peaceful. Nothing much of a major incident is recorded at any of the polling stations we visited. For the Pt2 South constituency, just as we were about leaving the constituency to the Howard constituency, the NDC-PC for the area, Frank Ifrie, came to the polling station to cast his vote. As at the time we were there, on the very register for his polling station, there were about 503 persons on the register, and then 221 had voted at the time we were leaving. He went through the process successfully, and do not forget, just before yesterday, there was an issue in Nafajato where the district director for the Electoral Commission was caught to be transporting some election materials in her private vehicle, and that was an issue that almost shrouded the conversation in Nafajato. But things have been very calm, peaceful, and the process has been very smooth. Right after he finished voting, he spoke to us and told us that he feels proud to be part of the process, most especially for the fact that democracy in Ghana largely is growing. He is very sure that at the end of it, he will be declared winner. He feels that the Pt2 South constituency has always been an NDC seat. He has worked so hard for today and he'll be crowned. But most importantly, he's hoping that John Dramani Mahama wins the election in the Pt2 South constituency and across the entire nation. So we may have a listen to what he told us earlier, then we cross over to the whole constituency where I currently speak to you from.
Right.
And we are leaving nothing to chance. We are going after every single vote, not for my sake. It is almost inevitable, my victory. If someone asks you who will pick the parliamentary seat for Bantama, it's obvious which party will pick the parliamentary seat. Likewise, in Afajato South, we know the one who wins even before the ballots are cast. And so our obsession for hard work is not just for my sake, but we are interested in harvesting every single vote to make John Dramani Mahama the next president of this republic in order to rescue the masses who are suffering currently. And so that has been the mission, that has been the target, that has been what we've been working at. And of course, being a part makes me feel like, oh, democracy, the formula is truly beautiful. I have voted for many in the past, and today I have voted for myself. So that is a secret code. And I implore all Ghanaians that we embrace democracy irrespective of the ills, the shortcomings, the problems, the challenges, the hurdles. I think that is still better compared to coup. The turnout has been quite impressive, but we still have a long way to go. And then we are asking our emissaries and agents to go to the field and prompt the voters, go to the farms, go to the marketplaces, go to every corner of this constituency and let the voter come out. This is the moment for us to punish this government for the pain they have inflicted on us in the past 8 years. We are decided, and we have decided to do.
Yo, Ugusuoho, are you still on the line?
I'm here.
Right. So take us to Hohoi then.
Yes, so the Hohoi constituency, there are 147 polling stations. Some 70,664 persons are expected to be voting here in the constituency today. It is the only constituency in the Volta region that is owned by the NPP. Since 1992 and the start of the Fourth Republic, the NPP has never had a seat in the Volta region until in 2020 when John Peter Amaru won the seat for the NPP in the Hohoi constituency. And now, for this very election, there are 4 parliamentary candidates, but of course, it's still a 2-horse race between the NDC and the NPP. The NDC has presented Orlando Thomas Cherko, and the NPP again has presented John Peter Amaru, who is seeking to be retained to return to Parliament. For the Hohoi constituency, I mentioned for the Volta region, things have been relatively calm. The police stations are visited across the constituency since morning. Not much of any reports can be made today in terms of any issues with verification whatsoever. Things have been very, very smooth, except that when we got to Alavanyo somewhere around 11 a.m., we were told that 5 persons had come to the Alavanyo Septek police station B to vote, and they had come on proxy. They were coming to vote for some persons on the proxy list, except that when they checked, their names were not, the very persons they have come to vote for, their names were not on the register, even though they have the names on the proxy list, so they had to be taken away. That was the only incident. And then somewhere in Ahado, one of the police stations in the morning, we understood there was an issue with the verification, the ballot box. And so they had to delay the commencement of poll for more than an hour before it was replaced, and then voting started. And so it is very smooth, and things have been very calm.
Right. Let me ask this. Has the closing of the border had any effect concerning this election? Has there been anything happening along the border areas?
Well, on the issue of the border, last night when the borders were announced to have been closed, we were told that some Ghanaians who had gone to Togo yesterday, the issue with the trade along our borders, particularly in the communities just closer to the border. Some just walk in and out of the Togo side and the Ghana side. So yesterday when the border was closed, we were told that some Ghanaians who had gone to the Togo side were stranded. At the point, they had to beg the immigration officials and show proof of their residence in Ghana to be allowed back into the country. There were people from Togo who were still in Ghana at the time the closure was announced. So they had to go to the border begging to be allowed to move. But on the issue of the election itself, it's not been told yet whether that actually has any impact on the ongoing election. Except that this afternoon, most of the stations we are visiting, they are recording low turnout, even though in the morning there were some very overwhelming numbers at the centers. For instance, I was at St. Teresa College a while ago where there are 4 polling stations, and each of the polling stations where you find some 500 persons on the register or 300, some of the places, just half of the people have voted as at 2 p.m. We spoke to the electoral officials who told us that they are expecting that between 4 p.m. and 5, the numbers would have been at the station to vote, even though they don't think every other person on the register is likely to vote today. They are hoping that a huge number will still mass up later this evening. And since it is almost 4 p.m., we will go back to the police stations to check what the situation is in terms of the turnout before polls close at 5 p.m.
Right. We'll come back to you. We need to know what's happening in Hohoe, I mean, that constituency. Whether we will be able to retain that seat and this will take it back. Thank you so much, Isaac.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Faisal, Abdul, Idrisu, and I'll tell you, yeah, my dribrofo. Now, yeah, to us, so Kwame Hohoe.
Yera Hohoe constituency. We have voter region map. Into your shiny say, I will say Hohoe Ewaha. Hohoe presidential. Hohoe for presidential, 2012, no one said Nana Danko Akufo-Addo votes, no. In 2012, when you're 11%, in 2016, when you're 16%, and in 2020, when you're 29%. Right. Say the vote, you know, I appreciate it every year, every election year. After you're back parliamentary, there's a very interesting thing at Hohoe. Reporter mentioned, say, voter turnout Hohoe this year is very low. I think it's historic. I did attack us or Hohoe constituency.
One time,
2020, Peter Mewunya 55% against Margaret Kweku 44%. Almost register 71,649.
Right.
Now, so I'm going to about 49,000.
Less than 50,000.
Yes, I'm going to about 49,000.
So about 21,000 or 22,000 and two.
Aye.
That's a lot.
2016 and so on. You better say 2016. Okay. So in the year 2016, right, Marlon praises Anipa and an NPP4 candidate against Benis Adiku. Yes. Onya 15%. Benis Adiku nya 82%. Omo register 73,000. But omo to about 43,000.
Oh no.
In Hohoe, the constituency was established in 2012. In 2012, we will say a very similar trend in Hohoe constituency. Obro MFA and an MPP candidate.
And also
the same candidate for 2016. Also, you have 12% against 81%. In the we need 68,000 registered, but 50,229 at Tuaba. Let's just say almost 18,000.
And Tuaba. Wow.
In Hohoe constituency, voter turnout is. We can't really tell. Maintain who near Kosovo. In Hohoe.
Yes.
Just around 83%.
All right.
Yes.
But in presidential, you need numbers.
Yes.
So in Hohoe constituency, say na here Kosovo. In Kosovo and Tuaba already. Into this year, at the end of an 8-year term. No?
Yes.
I can't really foresee the total number of people who are going to vote. Yes. Maybe I started by any bit me. I draw a conclusion on that.
Right, that's a Kwame. Ebushame found to any Rastaman trust. I quite now crow constituency will cry ID card, Ghana card can or say a man more on to Abba. Open one man more I want to. Roll Falcom. As a Mugroma. Hey, Ghana do. Was it one Falcom mamma to Abba and Safa Common Codantu? Card Nicola say. And what they trouble ye camera from me. A moon you are mean to. A moon you are mean to. When they was a diaba, a crow, me constituency. What I'm to about. Doctor, yeah, so you wanted to know the voter turnout in
Ashanti region, but from your report, it appears that is doing better, in Ashanti region.
But so what's what the Muntaka na lie.
Until now, if I say the general picture in the Ashanti region, I think it's by 5, we will get a general sense of what is happening.
Yeah, in Ashanti region.
In Ashanti region. Yes. Until I think so. All no more on your TV, so voter region, in particular, 2016, only 53% people went to vote. Yeah, far a few years I catch from say, Ashanti region, we are left with about 1 hour more. 1 hour and 5 minutes.
I can't don't hear any fan. About 5 now, the line and the last minute for pneumonia one.
Because this election, all the polls that have. It will be decided by voter turnout. It's very, very crucial. Everybody winning what this region, that region, but if the voter turnout crosses a certain threshold, especially in Ashanti region and Eastern region, we know the direction of the election.
How it will go is true. If a lot of people turn out in Ashanti region and Eastern region, as you're saying, there might be a breaking of the 8.
Yes.
If they don't turn out that much, it's not possible.
It will be difficult. It will be difficult. And the OSHA, I think the NDC were targeting 30%. But the 30%, I don't know who did
that. They
actually
projection. Haven't gotten that before. The highest they've gotten is 28%.
Yeah, but looking at what we have, when you get 30%, they will still leave you with the 1 million vote difference.
With those who registered
in the Ashanti region, and you will still have a long 1 million votes to cover.
Yeah.
And I
don't know the angle you are coming from.
So let Yama come and clarify what you're saying in Ashanti region.
Okay. Ashanti region, there's an interesting trend. After every 8-year period. Voter propensity na eba form. Let's say nkonkoto aba.
In fear what should be an for
period, nkonkoto aba. In 2021, and then especially whenever NPP is in power, people don't vote in Ashanti region. But omoko opposition, people go out to vote a lot. In 2008.
That's a brave NPP baby omufu.
2008, when NPP was about to end an 8-year tenure, Enipa 2,317,000 registered.
Yes.
About 1,705,000. Yes.
And it's almost less than half.
Yes. So Ashanti region, we study alone said whenever there's an end to the 8-year period, there will be
a little more than half. Are you showing the runoff or the main election? Because what I have here is
we're 2008 runoff now.
Runoff.
Yeah. So this is what we
used to do. 73%.
Yeah.
73%.
Yes. But your code 2016, so I'll be the same thing I was saying. In 2016, at the end of an 8-year period, we say when NDC was in power, they came out to vote quite well.
2,872,619 registered. 2,176,966 voted. That was a lot.
Exactly. In Ashanti region, the voter propensity, I think it's mostly influenced by say NPP government and as opposition. When they are in government, NPP, the Ashanti region voters tend not to vote more than when they are in opposition.
That's why Baumia went there about 3 or 4 times. Emma, Samira Baumia also had to go in there to
also it's a key battleground. And now overhead in the last election, almost every top leadership of NDC was there. I mean, to also try and appreciate
because if their vote also appreciates
exactly. And do you know, sir, Ashanti region is the second largest voter population for NDC. Not even in voter region.
Yes.
Because in the last election,
population in Ashanti region alone tells the story.
Exactly. And to be more concentration, one is also largely in Ashanti region.
Yes.
Which greater Accra is in Ashanti region. Then voter region comes. And this is a key battleground for both NDC and NPP.
Yes, and our political parties in India, they have done their homework, they have done the research, they are looking at the permutations. And to study what the government party, the NPP, may be trying to do is that, we know that in the metropolitans, in the capital cities, we will lose votes in Accra because you find people who are perceived to be educated, there may be grievances, but then let's go into the interlands, let's satisfy these people's war with some form of project. Then they are all looking at the ratio, so all of them are looking at the numbers, so they all know what they are doing. At the end of the day, we will know which of them's formula worked out.
Yes, of course. The things that Ashanti region, some of them were looking for a pine, and we about interchange Swami Kaho and then fly over. And a Jum terminal, terminal, Jum as in central market, or more pay phase 2 of the central market. To be honest, and then the phase 2, they told us no, it's not going to come on now. They can't finish before elections. It's not possible. And so I'm not sure. Quite a more, but so I mean, interchange, it hasn't taken off. But the road itself, they did it in Swami. They also gave them an airport, but though started by or money sourced by the NDC, they gave them an airport, which is beautiful. Very beautiful.
Anytime NPP had won with the difference of 1 million votes in Ashanti region, they win.
That's
anytime that there's 1 million. So NDC per se or more a bomb home or dinner.
So more
not just percentages, but make sure say
fiscal vote.
Fiscal voting by the time the young counting, who to meet the 1 million form because in 2008 the reason I'm wanting to marry the difference was around 900,000. In 2004, near 1 million. Over 2012 now, the difference was 800. So NPP couldn't win. But 2016, the difference was 1.1 million. 2020, 1.14 million. Until the moment the million gap is closed,
then it's not possible.
Because million votes, the bet might cancel out all the wins you may
from
win
other
the regions.
regions,
So it is not just about winning regions.
Yeah.
Until to me close,
it's about numbers.
The numbers is very, very important.
And presidential is 50% plus 1.
Exactly.
Parliamentary is just just one vote can make somebody an MP. One vote say. Here opia and to send this for press conference the first year to tom year they be call near ti omoso nsema wo mo edeba keche Joshua akwa ba Samira Baumia also voted and she just wrote on social media, I just voted number 1. Let's see where that one will take her.
She's showing her vote.
Yes. yes but the issue of Yakotwa Bani a picture. I don't know, because even the security, so special voting, somebody, the security for only be 8 pictures. An example why I was so and all that. And no, I don't know, but because Parliament here, the last time they did an election in Parliament, parliamentarians also took pictures. I'm saying this because the minority leader then came out to say, evidence of those who voted for them. And evidence would only be through pictures and nothing else. And it gave me cause to worry that if you are obi a woshemra na mo pa emra shebedwe mo shemra na mo to me ekotwitwa pictures a ye to aba me sumtwa bia eni say unya problem there because mo shemra mo bu mra so. It's a bit worrying. I don't know.
Yes. We share EC training manual now. Page 20. We call additionally, the security officer may be instructed by the PO because the presiding officer to cause the arrest of any person charged with major impersonation in the and conceal ballot paper on himself or herself or take photo of his or her choice on the ballot paper at the polling station. And it is clearly stated say tiamra na anyone say obibia yesa unfortunately say during the special voting ewo nandom yachi civilian ewo Cratchy West our volunteers can share and say security officers one policeman, one military personnel were seen
taking
snapshots of their ballots to whoever they are going to show it to. That one we are not clear. But all we are saying is that it is against the law. Right. We want to be law abiding.
I join you to Bontiana because you see Olebu Ablekuma. Shiata Momo at Tipipano. Or more atama kunyana plastic chair womutation no mde asu ma pampam adane umbrella adane umbrella nti da wo muntumi nto abato no so na akonyo omte so ma tam na esi wo ma pampam no mjenja ho twen se nsuo no ebete yeso ko yare fa so asa nsuo to dinde mp no no na mpe asa nsuo to dinde ma and also a disrupt elections. I don't know when in this case a disrupt a delay time. Maybe ni line 5 o'clock and then show to be abijan. Na the other paper crowd eson akonya.
And it is at the discretion of the presiding officer say obeshe situation and now only the returning officer now communicating if they have to postpone the polls now obefre agents now want to take sad decision. Yeah, the kata be babonti aye pick information on the ground say EC is not making allocation say omobe renting in Konyani canopy. Aye the ba public na ye access say EC.
Ma me kwa homa so mra to so. Evans wa homa so or verificator and edeba. Evans, good evening.
Hello.
Evans, kenta menka brafo ana twi ni okay. Efo
Before half one.
Me for. Yeah. Yanko. Let's go.
Okay. Well, as you all know, today is election day, and Keta constituency is not an exception. This morning, we've been at the polling stations. We have 158 polling stations in the Keta constituency. And we know 4 able men are now standing for the parliamentary parliamentary candidate here in the Keta constituency. The incumbent MP, Honorable Kwame Jaligape, Honorable Hope Courage Lekete of the NTP, Honorable Yayira Washikwao of the FPG, and one independent candidate, Mr. Courage Stanley Duga. Those are the 4 individuals that are standing for the vying for that particular position to be the MP for this constituency. In the morning, we went through a lot of polling stations. We saw a lot of guys coming up for to exercise their franchise. And the news in now is that there is a couple at the Abuja, one of the suburbs, one of the polling stations in the Keta here. So I'm trying to get there and see whatever is happening, because what I heard now is that there is some men that snatched off the ballot boxes, and the police were able to arrest them. So in few minutes I'll be there and then see how things are unfolding, if they are true as we were told. But as we all know, we have less than 1 hour to go, or 1 hour to end the proceedings today when it comes to voting. And I must say, in Keta here, the tension is very cool. There is no problem at where we visited this morning. I spoke to some of the presiding officers. What they told me was so encouraging. What they told me in the morning and in the afternoon before I'm getting back to them this time was that the machines, the PVD machines are working very well. Nobody was being disfranchised due to any of those challenges. So as of now, we don't have any challenges in Keta. Everything is going on as expected. So by 5 o'clock, we'll see how things will unfold, and probably the winner will be announced at the polling at the collection center at the Keta Municipal Assembly.
Right. Thank you so much, Evans. We'll get back to you around 5 and then find out.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, how the voting went. Thank you so much. Evans now turning kind from Keta. Kwame Keta ne wo suyana. Yemkwen.
Keta constituency. 2020 elections. John Dramani Mahamanya 86.89%.
Kasadin kakana mete.
John Dramani Mahamanya 86.89%.
Right.
Against Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo 12.41%. votes gap no was about 28,000, 32,000.
Secretary the MPP more
32,000 against 4,000. The Keta constituency saying a here. Green. Very
just
green.
when you green keke.
Very green.
Na ya o mko campaign there.
MPP highest on
now. Campaign.
MPP highest on now 2020. It's making 12%.
Oh boy.
Before 2020 no. Now or 5%, 3% in Indeed, Keta constituency be green, straight green.
Okay, right. So definitely Keta will still be green because we have margin now as a margin no. Ewa enche de kasebo tewu. E de bebreo. Akabe sima edunum anase eduanan enkron owa ha. Na say ye de abatwo no abawe ye dunum, right? Na just say ato abana we, that is places are obi eni ho ane obi eni ho nti adwa ha krado ya wo de kase e de breye kase botel nti enche na just say ade a ye de kase botel e de breye, right?
Interruption na ye kan wa asem na me can say easy anke wo say omo ya onboa na omo make sure say canopy ni nkobia because they took information from the ground. Collected data actually won say a hana car kwan a school park shed in your the returning officers needing come see all these informations, you know. EC came on the ground and collected them. Into your moon the EC unfair me can be was interruption or obstruction of poll where there's storm, flood, or other natural catastrophes, the presiding officer shall, in consultation with the returning officer, Sena Mikael, and subject to the approval of the commission, adjourn or postpone voting at the polling station to the following day. Until on and I'm percent ye clear, Sena Mikael.
Say a disruptor now.
Yes, almost
say a no matter. Right. That is what Emrano can at the moment. Kasi bottle. Ebreni kase bottle ebreni nti adwa krado or the kase bottle e de brain area e be try ho aba na afi yetumi e de me te doctor yes oh betimi abodi tell
na me hwe say say dynamics na Ashanti region here the same as previously,
right?
And Baumia, Baumia, I would say internal contest, you know. What's your percentage of against the general percentage of against
52 point something?
Now, what that means is that he's not overwhelmingly popular within the party like Mr. Akufo-Addo, President Akufo. That is one. Now,
it might depend on those he contested with. Kennedy Japan is a very strong pillar in MPP. So Alan also, but Alan Kennedy was able to beat Alan. He didn't really take much
the percentage of Ken, those who are opposed to Dr. Bamia. And then some of them may come on board, others may not want to come on board. Then if we come to the external, which is the one that the conduct is now. You know we have somebody called Cheddar. You now have Alan. Now, whatever percentage the two of them will get in combination, say 8% in power. Naturally,
in Ashanti region,
Ashanti, that should
believe they will be able to pull it. They can't.
Now, we share data in terms of global info analytics near they could get to that.
They can't. They can't pull 8%. I was there.
Not in total way.
No, I mean Ashanti region.
In Ashanti region, let me say something. We conducted a poll with IPG, and let's for example, say about 1 million people want to vote for China, but the impression that we're meant to man won't win, we're meant to man won't win. In the chance of more people get tired with NDC and people.
Yes, they want to change, but they are not too sure.
They are united to change. However, they cannot go forward and take that step. But the last October, November. The polls that we conducted said the confidence and voter party, which was at the beginning of the year, is gradually dying out. Gradually dying out because the Juma with their communication and Alan so Safa Akufo-Addo, sorry, ex-president Kofo on the same no Kaiser as on the phone.
Yeah, they felt a bit, yeah.
Oma him for name penny for Mudimu. Kasatia Wama. Exactly. And Nuntina, you are some medium feeling for some more Kasan come to Moboase. And some will can a monk for a work and come in Tomano, or no on to main this back on to main people on call, but you walk on into a bayon. And the Encasa money out there, then a man near may be head done, and not just that were confident. Right.
But NDC is also pulling in strong.
Also of oversimplification of the issue. And then T and opening Kufuakwe campaign when he's sitting in a wheelchair. What could have occasioned for Dr. Baumia to go and spend 15 days in that area? I don't know, make a chance and my phone.
As for Kufuakwe, he's a party member at any point in time. He won't.
What he's saying is true.
The condition.
Yeah, person. Not post. And people was around 50%.
It was less.
That one is true.
Yeah,
that one
less.
There's nothing said they were losing ground.
Yeah, party had setting. Yeah.
I know there nobody would disagree. But in the last November, October,
things has changed.
Yes, and now, also than a party no. So you can also say Newcastle or Casa.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the elections, by 5,
the domestic investigation here, not in general, about 13 constituencies, problems for, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And Tinebia, I'll give you the nitty-gritty, the details of that. Omunina Swantia Bia almost say, Omunina Swami, one crumple, there is a problem. Now, people are sitting at the mood and say, I chairman Sabos, no one popular. And I said, Moankasa and Mufisa also free so. Into chairman Sabos or support. Into our support to follow, or more Tinabamba Swasha Womo. I have so many. If I say Chuma, Ponua, more problems. Yes, more problems. As you can see, Madiano, Anna areas are primaries, you know. Not very close. A problem. Which means it's underground, you know. Delegate, no. Account you.
Yeah.
When you win at a very simple margin, we near a problem.
It's in I can say election kasa a process. Until sometimes politicians, you know, they become too comfortable.
Yeah.
Now omure free near I was say yes. Ebi a ukasemu anamobia was say to send a person or say training agent. And then I kasa a lot of information Africa Electoral Institute volunteers the back in there are disputes at the polling stations yeah can say I was say agents didn't travel far away. I was so ben and no so they won't talk about. Meanwhile, regulation is very, very clear on these issues.
Right. Yeah, satellite studio before we come to Cassia Bottle, right? Where? Henry Hall. Takra de Oni Irama Smith. Takra de, in fact, Western region. Henry any Irama Smith. Mortimer Monsomo.
This is your election command center, and we are coming to you live from our satellite studio here at the 2nd Youth Center. And I have been joined by the incumbent member of parliament for 2nd, and he is also the NPP parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. So I have with me in our studio Andrew Mercer. Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How do you find the process so far?
Well, I suppose that the EC, contrary to the needless brouhaha that was generated by especially the opposition NDC, have been up to task. I mean, right from the very beginning, the setup was perfect. One incident that I witnessed where the positioning of the official and the voting booth, in my view, did not offer the requisite privacy for the voter to exercise his franchise. And so when I raised that point, they agreed and repositioned themselves to ensure that whatever the voter was done was kept confidential and private to himself. But otherwise, it's been smooth. Materials arrived on time. voting started on time. I've not had any report. I've been going around since I personally cast my vote around 9 a.m. And every polling station that I've been to is pretty much orderly. A few ones, you have queues. Some of them, there are no queues. The turnout has been encouraging so far for the hour that we are in at this point. So I suppose that everything is on track.
And how do you see your chances?
Well, I expect that I will win. It is not in doubt.
By which margin?
I expect that I would increase the margin from the 2020 figure. Because we've gone to homes, we've outlined our vision for second day. We've articulated what it is that we've been able to do. We've explained the challenges to the constituents, and they appreciate because the crisis that we find ourselves in as a country is not oblivious to the people of second day. They've taken our message in good stead relative to what it is that the opponent is offering. There's no credibility whatsoever in this proposition. They see through it, and I expect that they will give me the mandate to go and continue the work that I've already started doing for the good people of second day.
What would you say to people who say that this electioneering year has been your toughest in your political career?
On the contrary, there's been a lot of noise. But I don't see any contest at all. We have an election. The requisite energy, the requisite preparedness, the requisite resources that we deploy in every election is the same, even though no two elections are the same. But the level of preparedness has been the same, consistently going around engaging both directly through house-to-house engagements, community engagements, through media engagements, that then offers us a platform to reach many more people at the same time. And you know, the usual health work that we do. I frankly don't think that there's been much difference between 2024 and 2020 or even 2016 when I came on the scene the first time. But there's been a lot of noise this time around, you know, and so maybe that's what gives some people the sense of some heightened environment in second day. But I know the people of second day, and they think through issues critically before they take the decision. And I'm you know, not in doubt at all that they'll back me for the third time so that I can continue the work that I've already started doing for them, that many people can attest to. But then again, you know, some people never get satisfied, and they're the loudest when it comes to the noise making. But they're right. So we move.
So looking at in quotes, the noise that you're talking about, would that influence a change in your strategy should you win this time around?
So the truth is, since I became a deputy minister and subsequently a minister, your workload increases, it intensifies. You have a lot more work in the office that you do. And I had a portfolio when I was at the Energy Ministry, responsible for largely the petroleum sector and even overlapping into power. And so my responsibilities did not afford me the frequency that between 2017 and 2020, you may say, my engagements with the constituency were. But going around, many electorates that I engaged with appreciated that, yes, because you have a little bit more work than used to be the case, it is expected that your engagements with us will not be, you know, as frequent. They encourage you, they urge you that, yes, we know Wejuma isn't, but Bomazin, Oya Nabasren, Oya Yefio. And that I appreciate. And so I need to find a way to balance that, the work and the constituency engagement in a better way going forward, so that I can get to interact with my constituents the more. But obviously, every year I take time to do church visitations across the constituency, because it's a 75% or more Christian domination. I visit the mosque in the constituency on a year-by-year basis. I interact at that level, hold some limited constituency engagement because, time constraints and all that. But I've heard the feedback, and we want to work on it to try and balance your ministerial function. That is assuming that His Excellency the President in waiting, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, even finds me worthy of giving me a position in his government. Then I would have to balance that task in government and the constituency work better. But otherwise, if it is the case that I'm only MP, then the work that we've already been doing would certainly be the way that we'll continue to do it.
Let me ask my final question.
Yeah, sure.
How do you rate the fortunes of the NPP in the Western region in this particular? Can you give us a percentage in this particular?
No, I think that Ghanaians will vote overwhelmingly for the New Patriotic Party.
The Western region?
The entire country.
No, I'm talking about Western region.
No, but I'm giving you, because the issues that confront us are national. And every perspective, regardless, would have some national connotation defining it. Okay? And so, yeah, Western region will look at the economy. They know the challenges that this government faced prior to COVID, that Burkina Faso did not face, that Nigeria did not face, that La Côte d'Ivoire did not face, that most countries within our peer group did not face. And these were the dual problems of the energy sector and the banking crisis. These are matters of fact. These were dealt with debt. And so when COVID hits the entire world, every country's response or the impact of COVID on every country would be different. So Ghana's was much more pronounced than your peers. These are basic economic facts that I wonder why people keep running away from it. So when you introduce revenue measures to Parliament to say that because of the problems that we've encountered, which I term underlying in the banking and energy space, and you get hit by a COVID, your problems are not different, or they are way different from your peers. So take measures that would enable you resolve the problems as soon as possible. And you submit a budget with revenue measures that the Parliament of the Republic breaches its own law in Section 22 of the Public Financial Management Act, which enjoins Parliament to do three things by 31st December: approve the budget, pass appropriations, and pass every revenue measure that goes to implement the budget. There would be consequences. You will have the kind of downgrades that you had in 2023 January. Your city will depreciate because there will be capital flight. Ghanaians recognize that. They know that when in the midst of this, Russia struck Ukraine and your global supply chain gets disrupted, freight cost increases to astronomical levels, your country will suffer. That's no fault of Akufo-Addo. Ghanaians appreciate that, and they see the recovery. They experience it in the slowdown of inflation, even though it's still high. Last week, the finance minister gave an update following the approval of the IMF, I believe the third or fourth tranche. Okay, and the numbers that he provided clearly shows an economy that is recovering. I cannot recall in my adult life when an economy that has gone bad has begun the process of recovery in the same term of the government. It hardly ever happens. But we've seen the recovery. And Ghanaians recognize that that recovery will take time. And the policy propositions that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has put on the table, it's practical, they are workable, they are achievable, they are explainable, okay, and they are comprehensible. Vis-a-vis what Mr. Mahama is putting across, his 24-hour shambolic whatever proposition, he himself cannot explain. Now he says it's voluntary. Now he says that it will be some, and who wants Nkokobun Ketenkete for their children's future? So the issues are clear. And I expect that Ghanaians will respond to the issues. They see a leader that has a vision to work to transform this country going forward in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and they will vote overwhelmingly to endorse him to go and continue the work that he's done. They want to vote to protect free SHS as well, which Mr. Mahama, in all honesty, is going to cancel in the very unlikely event that we give him the opportunity to become president again of our country.
So viewers have been speaking to the incumbent member of parliament for Secondary here at our satellite studio of Secondary. That's the Election Command Center, Youth Center here in Secondary. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Always a pleasure.
I am Irama Smith.
The NDC parliamentary candidate John Dumelo has just cast his ballot here at the Okonglo Restaurant 5B polling station here, and of course he is promising to snatch the seat from Lydia Sarah Alasan of the MPP, who won this particular seat through a by-election in 2019. And of course in 2020, John Dumelo contested her in a keenly contested race where she won again, and this time around, even though John Dumelo closed the gap, and of course the gap was just, the difference was just 2,373 votes, and this time around John Dumelo is promising that he will take the seat from Lydia Alasan.
So you did say Lydia made some fake news and something.
Yeah, I mean, yes, early this morning, yesterday, they sent fake text messages to almost everybody who votes in Iowa West that, I mean, in my name. So the text is, those text broadcasts in my name and saying that you shouldn't vote for a woman who kills her husband, blah, blah, blah. And, I don't think, I think Lydia, I believe she's quite mature. And so if she's doing these things, then it shows how, the other side she is. And so we are working on it, and we are definitely taking up such issues with the police, because I didn't send those kind of text messages, and it happens when you're about to lose. And of course, there's been widespread vote buying. When you go to NVTI, they ask the kids to take a picture, and then they'll usher you, when you finish voting, they'll usher you into a certain classroom, and they'll give you 100 CDs, 150 CDs, and we're able to stop that as well. So there's widespread vote buying. Possible. I don't know why you should close the borders at this time, just before a general election. I think it's irresponsible to close the borders, and it infringes on so many people's rights. And so that one, we are looking at it. I think from all indications, the ruling government knows that they are losing, and because of that, they are trying to try all sort of maneuvers. But I must warn them that we are equally prepared to win this seat. In Iowa West, we are equally prepared for John Mahama to be the next president, and nothing is going to stop us.
And Central Jumano, Jumaku, Ayana, Wonom, Ebamanie, Ede, Eche, Ahefo, anywhere, Tier4, Ma Wonum, Ehudi, Ekoso, Ewo, Iriase, Afanena. Say, and Centrani be Ebamanie, na Obonia. Ebua Emma etiefo ne ahefo no etumi efamwaba na wo hu wanamo etutu sabre kro na mu nsuso no amanebo a emfa ne kwan mu na enya amanebo papa no etumi ekofa hoye edeba oman mu in NFA ense Ghana Journalists Association ya was said ye afi about say yetimi edi hu djuma ebo hu dawuro efa
nsancho for ye djuma di kase pa ne say about aye banunia ebeko yebema Ghana for ehu yebema Ghana for ate se ne be ya se bibi koso na enya se aposi for asobete se bibi koso na enya isi for no ebeti hu and the area was Sabaya Batuya Yakwakotono.
No Koredan de Nisa Odysseus. Nemo say beer, want you be a now unim the entire a buyer and no ye mwak, say be ready for.
Introducing Rexona Non-Stop Protection 72-hour antiperspirant with breakthrough microtechnology that forms a stronger sweat barrier. Tested to the limit, even during the most intense workout.
Still clean, dry, and fresh for longer.
Try the new Rexona 72-hour non-stop protection for clean, dry, and fresh underarms every day.
Na ede na ya obayi a oda forma so ne yafunu mu emunumuni.
Oh, Mr. Entry, also yare ya titi me benfie pi nanso ne yam nyono da. Se me che onu ahodo amato a me hunu hwe a ebe ya nwanwa.
Menyi ni se what ulcer tamfo Haxa capsules any Haxa mixture yanum bom kotia ulcer no bia ma no anom. Anka ne ho ato no dadaada. Ulcer dro de eno ne Haxa capsules any Haxa mixture.
Ankom ni nkyeremu.
Ulcer ye kura eto yefunu ene ensunu mu. Etuma wo yefunu ekeka wa. Wogire ho a enyi. Ulcer etumi ema wo ye cheko ebre a wadidi awie. So how eye ulcer de a compare Haxa capsules any Haxa mixture nanum bom na ho ebeto.
Pedudu atu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 02038228855 Apefo abatanya woma won mofra no fo ene mofra woni mfiedu mienu enka ho Haxa capsules ene ne mixture
ulcer tamfo edie age adwadie nkratuo yi atom.
Yes baby.
Honey, men wash you away. Let to take away our back.
He's eating out again. Nancy, me try tasting kuyi. Tasty Tom. Add the new seasoning powders about chicken, stew, jollof, shrimp, beef. The way it enhances the natural aroma. Tasty Tom, dear. I trust them. And there is no staining of fish, meat, or chicken. Why didn't you just sharp? Me need also.
Tasty Tom seasoning powder.
New aroma.
New
taste from Tasty Tom new seasoning powder.
Maybe I need a
Maybe I'm not for anyway. Tasty Tom new seasoning powder. Flavor and taste. This advert is FDA approved.
Pack you back for your country. Pt2 Election. Your champion to organizers Neko. Your country was Singapore. Near TSC were to buy a Burj Khalifa 31st night. As a quantity dinner, our desert Nisso. Every 26 December, cause it 3rd January. What ticket? Dubai visa. Baby, I'll better. And no penny and you read Gianne. And Miami Albecoina, your $4,990. You have 50% for book you space. Next year, the Akada and Sana Yako. Registration in Abeberry year 20th December. Any just something to say. Yakoba, Yabemo free assistance for Euro Paris visit visa application. And Shayaka Krada. And Tiawari for Ankonam, Ejimaya for any of BM Ramayanko. And Shemubia Frey 0509 404 627 and 0303 943 257. PM Travel and Agency, Dubai and Singapore. December way. Ube Filisa.
Bebese me catch mu nyina say elections are ebe obia hwe yi niam asumdwe ndinkunu our election way say democracy ayaye no e nyame nhira but say democracy no be ko enim a e wo so ye nyina ye hu say ye nyini padom ni nyina Ghana ye dia enti ema obia ema ono party a odi etire no on di eni ho echi ataki ninia ana say body ntukwa ne niema beba enti election yi asumdwe obia nkononkoto na aba na in the long run Ghana endi nkuni.
Hello, me di American Sam yo jum tuni afi ya kwakoto aba mesrew koto mane a oda wakoma so koto wo asumdwe mu na kofie wo asumdwe mu Ghana ya mene wo dia ye ni baby akọ tie nyina ntena fefefe kwachira wadwen fefefe
ye hiani asumdwe se de me pema me ho sa na me pema won so nti me de me pene se koto aba na okofie yɛde wantwi ne matim Macau bɛba deɛ yɛmpɛ wɔ yɛ man mu a Ghana ne yɛ me dɛ ɛyɛ wɔn so dɛ yɛnhwɛ ma obi nsɛe no ma yɛn hwɛ wo ho so yie ɛnyame nka mo kɔto aba ma deɛ wopɛ yɛnyinaa yɛafta biribiara wie a Ghana no ɛba back to Ghana na yɛ party bi enu ɛso sen Ghana isaa na tie deɛ a Ghana first.
Ghana about 200 years. Yes, true. Arantie is Lavawa. The youth of Ghana, one of one Kasamosaya, the leaders in future, Edema Ghana, they want to protect you. As soon as you and a year shape, it show and tear, may more be and show before some radio, Yambotre, some radio, authority, track your people, ye be authority, more especially. Adana yevetu abano.
Nde mishia mwana masebteti aba yebetu waba oye 7th December. Nti yesranwa mo mfan toko bia amba yempia asumdwen koten koto waba asumdwen iwia kofe na kotwan results no. Ibi obewini bia wo mahen na yenta na chiri support na Ghana onto mpon.
Yadenchi akese efri Caristic company asoye de bre Ghana ne ahwefo nyina yakofa nnuo wanso Zahara herbal mixture, Zahara G herbal capsule, Zahara man herbal capsules, ana Hindi herbal mixture. Uye obi a ewa pa na ehaw. O Johnson so a wote se o obema mu hyehyew. Oba wo ho a hu se nsuo bi gugugugu. Eyi ba te se akatoa bema nso a ukọ private na wo chema. Hu se nsuo bi fifi obema mu ba. Eye genital wart ana herpes ana ehaw. O yusu aduro ya beboa agye wafisa ohaw ni nyina mu. Also bema owo low sperm count. Oba oni atenka. Koto Zahara mixture ene ni G capsule CB na emwa. Ye wo Hindi herbal mixture I no so eboa etu atwidi malaria asekora. Typhoid na hawana Hindi herbal mixture etu na se kora. Zahara man herbal capsules ayaka kan. We 2 minutes man unya bia beboa amwetime gina wona so sonko kora. Ase yi sisi yare bia so free wakwan. Eno nyina no ebusu wo herbal pharmacy ana chemical shop bia ewo Ghana ha sei. Na afi nso no wo frɛ your numbers yin so abetimi ne yedi nketa ho 0246 348334 ana say 0248 569 335 Caristic Company Limited. A drone
young girl, 25, 26 years. Into me movements, I'm a jai braille. But just I made me 3 months, 6 months. No me movements. I'm a cashier doctor. I'm not sure me so. Ever poor me. Now I'm pan so. Enti I'm me koto too no. Zahara mixture and then capsules no 2. And I'm in the start say me no me me say be 2 times. But I'm say and so I shall see gugu me. And I'm say be 3 days time. Me start movements. Me say so be an coming movements. The last time me boomens last year September and this month me boomens just say small flow heavy flow ankasa obi ani eze hormonal imbalance cyst infection e de ben de be say me nkwa ya le bebre doctor but me bisa sa de me nkwa de aden nanso nyankopon and am Caristic for so and am wedro Zahara mixture ne G capsules infection de ben yo bibia less than 200 cedis metimi asa me ho yare